Hey, konnichiwa minasan, it's Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse home in Japan. I hope you're good and genki. Today I've got a review of Godzilla Minus One, which dropped in Japan Friday, November the 3rd. That's right, for once Japan gets an early release compared to the rest of the world, but it is a Japanese movie, so there we go. This movie was written and directed by Takashi Yamazaki, who also does the visual effects. He was a visual effects supervisor. Takashi Yamazaki is a big fan of the Godzilla franchise. He wanted to direct this movie to celebrate, believe it or not, almost 70 years of Godzilla. That's right, the original Godzilla movie dropped back in 1954. So next year will be 70 years. Amazing. Is it any good? That's what you want to know. Well, I gotta say, I absolutely loved it, and I did a long waffly live stream about it yesterday, if you want to see that. I also got some good input from a good YouTubing buddy, Angry Canadian, who went to see it too. Luckily, we both live in Japan, so we can do that. But yeah, what to say about it without giving too many spoilers? Well, I love the setting, first of all. They decided to go back in time. They set it just after the end of World War II, where you've got Japan recovering from the firebombing of Tokyo, you know, the obliteration of half of the island. You see people building their lives back together, you know, basically literally building their houses back up. You see people trying to connect with each other. There's a real human side to the story, which some people, I don't know, don't seem to like that. They seem to prefer all-out monster action. If you're looking for that, maybe you prefer Godzilla vs. Kong or the King of Monsters movies. But yeah, this is so good because it develops the human story alongside the Godzilla story, of course. And I think keeping Godzilla in the background makes it even more epic, even more incredible when you see the monster, when you see the kaiju itself, Gojira. So yeah, you do see a very early appearance early on in the movie, like right within the first, I think, 5 minutes, which is great. And again, I'm going to do my best not to spoil it, but you know what you're going to get with a Godzilla movie. You're going to get incredible action scenes at times, but with it being a Japanese movie, as I say, there is a strong focus on the emotional development of the characters. One of the themes I did like, really appreciated in this movie was the theme of like PTSD, of survivor's guilt from the war. And the main character, who's played by, Ryunosuke Kamiki. He's a pretty young actor. He does a really good job in the part. He plays the main character, Koichi Shikishima. Wow. Even I, been in Japan all these years, I struggle with the names sometimes, pronounce the names. But yeah, he's basically, he's a pilot from World War II, and he's suffering from survivor's guilt. And that theme continues throughout the movie, which makes it very, very, not relatable, but it gives it a real emotional impact. We also have the actress Minami Hamabe, who plays Noriko Oishi in the movie. She's very good in the part too, and her and the main character Koichi, they find each other in the wreckage of Tokyo, the wreckage of their homes, and try to build a life together. So yeah, very good. The acting is great. Sometimes it can get a little bit over emotional. I do talk about that quite a lot when I talk about watching Japanese drama or movies. Sometimes you think, wow, you know, why are they acting it so emotionally? But I think it works. The performances are very, very good. You know, it makes a nice change from the flat, emotionless stare of certain, shall we say, major mainstream Western actors and actresses these days. So yeah, very emotional journey. I got pulled right into the story. It tugs on the heartstrings, definitely. So what you want to know is how is Godzilla in this movie? Well, if you've seen any of the trailers, you'll have got an idea of how amazing it looks. And I've got to say, I'm not the biggest fan of CG effects these days, especially with recent Marvel and DC movies looking pretty shoddy, to be honest. The effects in this, which I later learned were all CG, they are incredible. It looks amazing. The monster, the kaiju, Gojira looks stunning, simply stunning. And what makes that even more impressive is the fact that they've set a lot of the scenes in daylight. That was a good point that my buddy AC pointed out. It's like, yeah, you see the monster, you see Godzilla, not only in the sea, but on land, and you see it in the daytime. It looks so convincing. It's really, really good. Yeah, of course, it's a Japanese take on the monster, so you're not going to get super photorealism. You know, it's got a bit of a sci-fi fantasy element to it, especially in the scenes where, I tell you, it will blow your mind when you see these scenes. The scenes where you see Godzilla using its atomic breath. It is amazing the first time you see that. I mean, it does show a little bit in the trailers, so I'm not really spoiling it by talking about it, but do check out the trailers and you'll see what I mean. Basically, Godzilla charges itself up and you see what appear to be almost like spikes or spines, like Stegosaurus, dinosaur-like spines coming out of its tail, its body, building up, going along the back of the creature, and this weird sort of almost neon blue, light blue color as it's charging and charging up this power, this atomic power. And then there's like sudden drop of the audio, there's silence, and then boom, it just blasts out this incredible like this bolt of blue from its mouth, you know, the atomic charge, and it nukes Tokyo. It nukes the center of Tokyo. It's unbelievable. Should see the effects. So yeah, you know what you're going to get in a Godzilla movie, but I've got to say the scenes in Tokyo when it makes landfall are outstanding. So I recommend you see this on as big a screen as possible. Unfortunately, I couldn't see it on an IMAX screen where I live in a small town in Japan, so there we go. But my friend saw it at an IMAX screen and said it was amazing. Really, really good. So if you can, do that. But as I say, I want to point out this is it's not too long of a movie, but it is a human movie. It's a human story. If you're just looking for monsters, maybe you won't enjoy this as much as I did, but I think it's got a great story, really well written. The monster scenes are incredible, they're impactful, and it's made me want to go and see it again. The music, the soundtrack is really good. I don't know if they use the original from the original Gojira movie from back in 1954, but it does pay homage to that. And I was sat in the theatre afterwards, you know, just listening to the soundtrack. Everybody stayed in, no one left. We waited until it had finished playing, you know, the lights came up. People were just like, wow, you know, kind of not in shock, but in awe, shock and awe, in awe of this fantastic visual and oral treat. So yeah, for the audience I watched it in Japan, I got a few kind of funny looks from a few people, and actually some middle-aged lady was asking me, oh, are you okay? This is in Japanese, you know, it's not English, there's no subtitles. I was like, yeah, you know, I can maybe understand maybe half, I'll get about half of it. So that's it, that's my level, but it's a very visual movie, so you don't need to get, you know, every detail with the language, you can get what's going on. I loved it, and it was interesting to see the audience was a mix of people my age, you know, like maybe younger to middle-aged, and also older people. There was an Oji-chan sat next to me. Oji-chan is like basically grandpa, so an elderly man. I thought he was falling asleep at one point, but he wasn't. He was totally into the movie. He was riveted, just like me. Yeah. It was a great experience, so I recommend you do go and see it if you've got any interest in the Godzilla movies, in the Kaiju movies, and you want to see a great historical depiction of Japan just after the war. That was fascinating. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this rather rambly review. If you want a longer waffle, do check out my live stream. I'll put a link at the end of this video to it. That live stream was a bit waffly, but it's good getting my friend's input on that, Angry Canadian, so shout out to him as well. And yeah, that's it really. I really appreciate you watching. Do drop a comment, let me know if you're gonna watch it, or if you have seen it, what you thought of it, and I do answer the comments. So yeah, this has been Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse, wanting to watch Shin Godzilla, because I haven't seen that all the way through yet, and I even want to go back and watch the original. Yeah, the 1954 fantastic original Gojira. Okay, hope to see you in a future video, and you have a great day wherever you are. Mata ne!